because that is the one thing that was really making me not want enough phone. I want a headphone jack. I'm sorry, I don't like um, Bluetooth headphones.
Sure. Yeah, I mean, if you don't,
I mean, you're free to not like freedom, but that's what it feels like.
No, it's. I
it's
think
the
I heard this
American way.
joke. I heard this joke from. I don't remember what it was. Might have been like Subway Takes or something when I was just randomly flipping through stuff. But it was like Bluetooth is like, when are we actually going to finally get it to work? Because Bluetooth
It's
is
so
very.
bad.
It's not good, and we've had this technology forever, and it's just
Yeah.
still it's just. Bleh.
Well, yeah. I mean, I'll say this, right? Because I do use Bluetooth quite a bit, right? The range and the penetrating power of the signal. Sorry for double entendreville for you guys, but it's like I can leave my phone inside and wear these headphones and just like go take the trash out, go in the backyard, whatever. Sometimes you'll lose, like the signal will get choppy at some places, but like it used to be like I would lose it in a stairwell. Like if I went downstairs, you could feel halfway down the stairs like you start to lose the signal and whatever. But the place where it's still bad is like the software to manage it, especially on the Windows side, is still freaking terrible. Right? It's like I always feel like I've got some hoops to jump through or some other nonsense. Like I can't just plug and play. And like this headset's like maybe a year old, maybe two. It's still pretty new, but like at my work computer, the driver is bad, and then it's work, so they're like, well, we're not going to help you because it's a home headset, whatever. So that's a different hurdle. But it's like, come on guys, like this is Bluetooth, it's not that hard, like everything supports it these days, but it still does feel like it's not fully there yet, so but anyway.
Yeah, in our rush to optimize everything else, we kind of left Bluetooth back where it was and never did anything to fix it.
Yeah. Well, I mean, if you remember too, like a decade ago, Bluetooth was going to be, I mean, that was the AI craze, right? Where you were going to have the Internet of Things and every damn thing was going to be on it. And it's like, we still have like the IoT is still a thing, but we're talking like everything was going to be connected. Everything was going to have an IP address. And that's why we had to go to IPv6. And we still haven't fully embraced that either, but just kind of funny. So.
Because halfway along the way, it's the new thing. So the old thing is just like, nah, we'll never mind.
There's always going to be that crutch, you guys. Like, no, you can't take away my archaic things, and you must make it still work.
I'm actually kind of bummed that I don't have a CD player in my car anymore.
I mean, CD player in the car, I don't give a shit about. CD player in my laptop or DVD player.
Yeah.
Well, that one
pisses me off.
In my computer, yeah. The only thing that has a disk drive in my house anymore is my Xbox, and even that's old, so it's just like
I have a DVD player still, just for this reason. Yeah, physical media. And all that. I mean, I have a bunch of them, obviously, but
that's fair. We do have a DVD player for the kids for their room mostly, but yeah, like, and I think we probably got a portable one somewhere for like traveling. But
I still have my CD Walkman. I'm gonna break that out again at some point.
How many more seconds of skips do you have? Like,
well, since I don't use Spotify, 0.
No, I mean, like you remember when it was like it's got 5 seconds of skip protection or whatever because you'll bounce the disc and then Yep. That's old school. Somebody just went through some PTSD somewhere.
So. I might still have my tape deck somewhere too. I don't have as many tapes as I do CDs, obviously, because that was the ubiquitous thing for me. I did have a couple of cassettes.
What we're talking about?
Well, like, they'd have to be listening.
On a scale, how old are we?
Old enough to be having this conversation.
You're as old as I was when the show started, okay? And I'm 10 years older than that.
I think I'm a little older than that was at the time, but
no, I know, but you got within the ballpark, and you're like, fuck, I'm actually 2 years older than that, aren't I? Yes. That's how old you are. Is that I got you on the map for how old you were, and you were like, no, I'm actually older than that. That's what being old is like. So, yeah.
Well, I know what a floppy disk was. I used them when I was
somewhere in here. I've still got a shrink wrapped box of them so that I
can. Do you have a drive?
I was gonna say, if anybody here does, If anybody
on
here
purpose,
does, it would be
anyway.
him. Because I remember
the-
loading that up with old computer games, and that was
I might legit
was fun.
have like X-Wing in a box somewhere, like the old X-Wing game with like 11 floppy disks or whatever it was. So I might legit have that somewhere because that belongs in a museum, but so do I at this point. So
The funny thing was the floppy ones were only ever used in school. The ones at home, they were fairly, solid. Like they weren't floppy at that point anymore.
it's just a different technology. Like
Yeah.
you could have had them at home too, but yeah, they probably it skipped over because it's like similar. I only ever saw a laser disc at school. Now, granted, I was
same.
in high school and there was way ancient technology already by then.
Yeah.
But yeah, it was like I had no idea what a laser disc was until they broke it out at school. It was like, this is just how we bought it, and they never made it for DVDs again. So this is what we got,
That was elementary school. It was the first time I think we had this discussion before. It was the first time we watched that Ray Bradbury short thing about being on Mars and seeing the sun. It was on a laser disc. It was like, why are we doing this in third grade? I don't know.
Right. Either we're going to have to switch tangents or you're going to have to change the title. I don't know which one it's going to be.
I don't know. We're missing two people. Do we want to talk about pie and pushing daisies, or do we want to just continue on with we're old fucks?
We can just hold on. First of all, why is pie an exclusive? We can talk about pie and be old.
Yeah, this old man wants to talk about pie and soup. All right, so be careful.
I was gonna say we could just rank our favorite pies while being old at the same time.
The more
That's
liquid
totally
diet,
content.
the better.
For example, cherry pie, don't like it.
But pumpkin pie is the best.
Pumpkin pie is the best.
I think I don't like cherry pie just because, like, the consistency. Everything else, like, it's too much cherry. Cherry is a topping, not a pie.
I'm not big on apple pie in the same way, but I like it more than. But when the pie, I don't know. I feel like when it's too much of the thing, it's just not.
I know that one's not a hard rule because I like chocolate. So
yeah,
pie is it's like the consistency of the apple seems to be the problem. Like I love everything about it except for the apple, and which isn't a good thing. And I like apples, and so it's like
I like them too.
There's something like almost if I want a more like a hardened applesauce pie, maybe I should try that as an experiment. Because when the apple it's like it's not pie consistency anymore. It's just hard apples because they didn't cook. Have you tried the apple pie with cheese in it?
No, I've seen it as a thing that's come in the last few years.
I tried to make it a couple years ago, and I probably didn't do a great job, but it had all the drawbacks of apple pie and an expensive cheese, and it's just like.
Did you ruin Thanksgiving for everyone?
I don't remember. Was it Thanksgiving? I don't remember when I was trying to do it. I know it's just on a kick of experimenting with baking.
I have seen that, and I've questioned people's why, but
there's enough people who swear by it that like
so.
There's got to be something.
Everything that doesn't have cheese needs to have cheese. So like that by itself, I'm like, okay, I'm intrigued. But I just saw that there's a recipe for an apple pie grilled cheese sandwich. So that might be a little too far, but
wouldn't that just be like apple butter or something put on there, or bacon
It's
apple
literally
jam or
like-
something?
it's the apple pie filling on a grilled cheese sandwich.
No, but I'm saying like I feel like you can do that without going through the effort of making apple pie filling if you really want that flavor.
Yeah, I don't know. So I despite the jokes that I make about being French, like I do prefer simpler fare at times. And so it's like once you've taken an extra like 30 minutes to add something to it that didn't need to be there in the first place, like a grilled cheese is a complete meal, right? Like have a side, sure, great. But you're like, you know what? I'm actually done and I could eat this right now, but instead I need to spend an extra 30 minutes prepping apple pie filling to go on this thing because that would just what are we doing? Like, I don't want to be in the kitchen all day. I want to eat and move on with my life, so.
Right. And if you're not using a toaster and slapping some Kraft Singles non-cheese slices on there, and you're actually using like a pan, you've already upped the time a few minutes to make proper grilled cheese. You don't need to be adding to it.
Yeah, I'm just trying to think through too, because I like challenging my own assertions there for that sort of thing. Because like one of the crazier things that I did along these lines is that I tried to do a facsimile of King's Loaf. I'm sure I've told this story because it was a fascination for a while, but it's like, so it was a thing that Elvis would do, right? And there was like
Oh God.
one bakery or something that was
In
like in
Denver, I
Kansas,
remember this.
or is that what Denver? Somewhere in
Yeah,
the
it was like an
Midwest.
entire
And
thing of peanut butter and
yes,
butter and jelly and oh my God.
like a jar of peanut butter, a jar of jelly, and then like a pound of bacon on literally a loaf of bread or whatever. I didn't go in for that, right? I'm science, small sample sizes are fine. I did a peanut butter and jelly, but with like 6 strips of bacon, which is still an absurd amount of bacon, mind you. I like layered the bacon on top of it and whatever. So that's one, but it's like you can cook the bacon while you're like making the rest of the sandwich, right? So it wasn't like,
Mhm.
oh yes, I'll be in the kitchen for 4 hours making bacon and then make a peanut butter and jelly sandwich, which should take me like 39
Yeah, well, that's
seconds,
why bacon goes well on
But
grilled cheese because it's, I mean, either the same
haven't
pan or
done
you
that
can
one.
just put a pan next to it. Like,
Yeah, interesting.
I like to put the bacon in the
But
oven, and then it doesn't
sure.
splatter at me as much.
Was so
Mm.
I say that, but we get pre-cooked stuff now, like welcome to the future. So like
Mm.
my biggest problem with bacon is that we also cook it in the oven because whatever else we're cooking is probably also in the oven. But if we leave the bacon in there for 10 minutes instead of 5 minutes, it is charcoal. So that's that's my
yeah,
new bacon
I
problem.
found oven bacon, at least in my experience, it can be too. I mean, I like it. I like bacon crispy. I can eat it floppy-ish, but I find the oven is less consistent with getting it the
Mm.
crisp that I want, as opposed to a pan, which is like sizzle, sizzle. Okay, now I know it's done.
Sure.
I found the oven to
When
be more consistent, and I don't like things burnt, and I don't like things floppy. So I'm trying to get to a hard balance there, I guess.
yeah, that's like over easy eggs, right? Where it's like we want it to be edible, but not like explode on your face when you're eating it.
Well,
So
actually, a
The over
griddle top is
medium.
okay.
yeah,
For I think a griddle top is okay for bacon because of the like it heats quick. You know, if you're doing pancakes and stuff, so you could do it and it would cook through and probably not be. I mean, I haven't really tried it, but I feel like that would be. You know, because it's like when you get a bacon, egg, and cheese, it's always a flat top. Like
sure.
they know that for some reason.
Man, I'm so glad I ate breakfast before this podcast.
Right.
Actually, so
Yeah.
normally I would not.
I mean,
have.
you say that, but I was going to go to Key Food after this, and like I think I'm just going to get a bacon, egg, and cheese now because
Right.
it's on the way.
Yeah. I think it's actually the consistency of the bacon is probably half of the reason why I get a sausage, egg, and cheese sandwich instead now. So, because I can deal with that in the circle sausage better than like the perceived undercooked bacon. Like if it's a good place, right? Like if it's
Yeah.
north of McDonald's, then I don't have a problem with the bacon.
Yeah,
But if
no,
you can
if
see
it's-
through it, it's too
yeah.
flimsy.
If it's
No?
Dunkin' or Starbucks or McDonald's, those are just they put them in that oven thing, and it doesn't do. It just warms up whatever was already there.
And they're
That's true.
cut so thin that like you're not really going to get a texture that you want because it's like tissue paper.
Right.
I mean, I like sausage more, even though it's still the same animal. But I
sure,
just like
some
sausage
magical
more.
animal.
It is. Listen, pigs and chickens are real. They are magic.
Chickens.
Chickens more so because they are food and they give you food.
Yep.
Right. Yeah, lately I've been on a kick. We got a new air fryer not too long ago, and it was one of those purchases that I was like, why? This is so gratuitous. Like we had an air fryer, sure it sucked, but it wasn't ready to be replaced yet in my mind. Oh my God, I have never 180'd so hard on a purchase in my entire life because like the coating is better, so it takes so much less time to clean and it isn't just crap it to begin with. And now for my lunch and whatever, I'll just go grab like a chicken breast and throw it in the air fryer and it comes out crispy and everyone's like, what did you season this with? I was like, nothing.
Air.
It is just air fried. Yes.
I seasoned it
It
with
just
air.
comes out crispy, so it's like in some ways it's probably a little overcooked, but it's like the outside is crispy, the inside is juicy. It is perfect. It's crazy. But
I haven't tried cooking chicken in my air fryer. My air fryer is almost entirely meant for potatoes, like French fries, hash browns.
Salad.
We were the same way because yeah, I've cooked every damn thing in this thing now. And like there are challenges. Like there was one chicken breast that was too thick and so it didn't cook all the way through.
Mm.
So I had to kind of like finagle with that. So it's not like perfect, but right now it's like what can I not cook in here is the bigger question, because I even used it to reheat my pizza yesterday. I was like, holy crap, I cannot tell that this is week old pizza. It was also perfect. And like it's not like the cheese melted and ran off everywhere. It was just like the perfect consistency and temperature when it came out. I did meatballs in it, and the main problem there was because I didn't know how long to put them in. They were slightly overcooked, so the outside was like they looked burnt, but they again were the perfect consistency inside. So it was like, sorry, this looks rough, but it tastes fantastic. So just anyway, I'll send you notes later.
We don't have Bluetooth because we skipped on to air fryers.
Yeah, I mean, honestly, like the air fryer's been enough where it's like, man, we are like this freaking close to having cooking automation, like, and I know there's companies and devices and stuff like that I looked into anyway, but it's like, if it's the prep that's the hard part, right now, the cooking, and especially with the air fryers, like it's getting to the point where it's like you can buy ovens that have air fryer capabilities, right, because it's that ubiquitous now and stuff, and it's just that in pressure cookers have come a long ways too, right, where it's like you can bake a cake in your pressure cooker, eggs, rice, whatever, literally anything you ever thought to cook on your stovetop, put it in your pressure cooker instead. So it's pretty wild. And the fact that it tends to come out better than like hamming around on the stove for the unskilled. I'll admit, like I can follow instructions, but I tend to mess things up on occasion, whereas like these devices make it a whole lot easier to just be like 3 button pushes and wait. So but I know you two cook a little more. Yeah.
Yeah,
I like
more than the
because
crock pot.
you could make stew in that and just let it sit there for 8 hours and you're golden. You just add flour at the end and stir it up.
Now, when you're saying Dutch oven, you mean like charcoal and the whole thing? And
no, I mean
like,
the ceramic coated giant pot thing.
Okay. And you just throw that in the oven or what?
I should actually try to do it that way because I tend to just put it on a burner on my stove and then make the stew there and just leave it there. But it's so much easier to clean than the crock pot ever was. And I do think it just kind of has a nicer consistency, and I like that a lot better.
I bought a Dutch oven a little while ago. I still haven't used it, but I'm getting around to it.
It's stew season.
It is.
Sure.
I mean, and with the nor'easter coming, tomorrow.
Yeah.
Nice.
I was thinking of picking stuff up but doing that.
Yeah.
So.
All right.
For some reason, because I just went on autopilot the last time I was making stew, just putting it on the stove. I never actually tried to put it in the oven and actually see how it comes out that way, but I got to try that.
Yeah. I mean, it sounds self-contained and potentially yummy and everything. I had to catch up a little bit because I associate Dutch ovens with like the cast iron version, which we had taken camping and stuff like that. It was like you can or cannot bury it in the ground with a bunch of coals and just like cook all day, type of thing. And
they go under the pig.
Yeah, I was like, you are hardcore if you're like, oh yeah, we're in like a little apartment and we just go out and cook outside or whatever. It's like, and not like barbecue, like.
Nope, we're burying that sucker.
Yeah, right.
But I think that is where my nicer modern versions, I guess, of it comes from is that same basic idea. Like you had a large pot and you let it be near heat for a long time and your food comes out delicious.
Right. True story. So, whereas air fryers are quite the opposite. You put it in the air fryer and you let it be for about 39 seconds. No, I'm just kidding. But like 10 minutes, 20 minutes tops. And it also comes out crispy and delicious. So, but
I got a pudding mold too, because I wanted to try and make bread pudding because it's not complicated. And I really, really like bread pudding.
You had to put it in a mold. It's already more complicated than a lot of what I cook.
I mean, so it's the same principle as the Dutch oven and the crock pot, except you're baking it in essentially hot water So the mold goes into the pan of water or
Mm.
whatever, and
Oh,
that's how.
okay.
And then you like put that in the oven to just let it do its thing.
Okay. You're doing a bain marie.
Yeah. So it's steam cooking it, and it's not, again, it
Well,
doesn't
if you're
seem
putting it in the
complicated,
oven,
but
the hot water around it is going to help it like equalize temperature, so it's not
Mhm.
getting cooked unevenly.
Right.
When doing cheesecake, very important to do that.
Gosh. Mhm. Yes. So since I've done that and they've come out okay, and like even, I mean, pumpkin pie is a little different. Obviously, it's more of a traditional bake, but it's still custardy, so
Hmm.
similar type of
Hmm.
principle. So one day. But yeah, I'm gonna make a pumpkin pie soon, actually, because that's what I do on Thanksgiving. I do that and the mac and cheese.
With like the crumbles on top.
The way I mean, yes, I will shred and put, like, I'll use the broiler at the end to like get it the baked part, because I do the roux and then I'll do layers of cheese in there so that while it's baking, it'll also melt a little more with the sauce. But then I'll always put on top, and then I'll finish it off in the broiler for like 5 minutes, just to get the people like the bubbly whatever top. I do too. But growing up, it was always my mother and my grandmother always seemed to overcook it, and it was very hard and lumpy. And I no, smooth mac and cheese. I'm not a lumpy mac and cheese person. Smooth and creamy and gooey. No, none of those like hard cheese pieces that like I'm not eating Velveeta here.
Isn't the point of Velveeta that it's smooth and
Right.
easy to melt?
And yet somehow the chunks, like it looked like chunks of Velveeta, and it just,
They cook it in the microwave and it burnt?
I don't know what they did. Listen.
Okay.
Everyone else loved it, and I was correct.
Mm. I mean, that's the fascinating thing too, is because like you would think like, ah, yes, my grandmother and then my mother, and now I do it, except that I do it right. It was like, wait, how did you learn how to do this then if it wasn't from them? So,
Well, now
Yes,
we have
they
internet.
got plenty of other things I learned them from them to do correctly, and comes out great. This one's me. I found my own recipe, and actually then I incorporated my own, because I just do different cheeses. I don't want to do the standard ones. So like I use Fontina and I forget the other one as the big roux melty, and then I'll scrape the pepper jack on there as the throughout part for a little kick.
Nice.
So that's my Thanksgiving contribution.
Yeah. We love to just have pepper jack around for just any reason. And then, it's another thing where it's like, if I'm going to spice something, I'm just going to be like, I'm going to put some cayenne on it until I feel like it might be too much. I'm trying to remember what I did, but there was something that I was making that I was like, this is kind of bland. And so we're going to put cayenne until it almost, like we're not big spicy or whatever. So I'm not like trying to oversell it, but it was like, you would have been uncomfortable, right? If you're not a spice person. It's like, nah, yeah, that saved the dish, as opposed to being just like gruel, or something, like,
yeah, like smoked
crazy.
paprika for that of late, like that. Like I'll put that in the mac and cheese. I even put a scoop of it into the stew if I'm doing it just for a little, whatever. Not a lot, just enough that it's like, hey, there's something else in here.
Somebody has to ask you. They're like, "What did you put in this?" Because it's
well, no, because generally, like with the mac and cheese, you're mostly tasting the pepper jack, if anything. Like there's salt, there's pepper, there's the smoked paprika, and there's the other cheese, but they're smoother and very, like pepper jack's the one you're going to notice, which is fine, because I don't put a huge amount in there. I think just enough so that people aren't like dying, because I don't want that either. I'm not a big spice person. But I don't do that for the pumpkin pie. So I don't even put cloves in the pumpkin pie.
Really?
Oh no. We had the very first time I ever attempted, I don't know, I was 14. And I don't know what it was. Maybe this recipe called for more cloves than normal, but it just came out awful. Too much clove, and it turned me off of it forever. So I will do the nutmeg, I'll do the cinnamon, I'll do the allspice, but no cloves. I don't do it.
Do you ever try mace?
No.
Mm.
But I also use brown sugar and some vanilla. So like, it's there's flavor in there that people aren't
Right.
dying without the fucking clove.
Yeah, I guess it can feel very like almost medicinal or artificial flavored candle. That's just like way too much if there's too much clove. But I think it's good.
Yeah,
flavor.
I think this just might be my thing. Like some people can't do cilantro because of the soapy taste. Like I don't have that. I can eat cilantro. I don't particularly like it, but I don't have that problem like my sister does, where she's like eating potpourri. So it doesn't bother me, but clove now does. I'm just scarred. It's okay.
Broken in many ways.
Oh yeah.
Just call it naked pumpkin pie because it's got no cloves.
I just call it pumpkin pie, and people eat it, and if they like it, they like it, and they don't, then more for me.
Then get the fuck out of my house.
I haven't had any complaints yet. It tastes like pumpkin pie. It's, it's just the only thing I want to try is actually making like roasting a pumpkin and using it. Like I get it from the can. I'm not.
I tried that a couple years ago. It was not worth it. I mean, it was like a kind of like a life enhancing experience to have tried it, and now I know it's not worth it, and I do not ever feel guilty of getting shit out of a can. Fuck that.
I mean, that's it's the same thing. It's just processed. That's
yeah,
what it is. What they get it from a pumpkin somehow. It's just
they
it goes
get it
into
from a
can
pumpkin, but they have machinery. And admittedly, I didn't have a food processor. Like this was the thing that forced me to get a food processor, and that probably would make it easier. But roasting the pumpkin, trying to scrape the roasted guts out of the pumpkin was like it was. I just fucking can. It's a can. It's fine.
Yeah, and I've never been like even when we made jack-o'-lanterns as a kid, like I was never fond of taking the guts out and stuff.
And it's the shitty part.
My grandfather loved it because he loved, they loved making this, roasting the seeds, putting salt on it, and eating them.
But I would like to have the seeds without the gooey mess of the pumpkin innards. I want the pumpkin and the jack-o'-lantern and the seeds and nothing the stuff in between.
I'm sure they sell them separate now.
I'm sure.
We've come a long way since those days. I think you can just buy pumpkin seeds.
We have pumpkins, but not Bluetooth.
Yeah. No, I mean, they sell like dried pumpkin seeds for snacks, kind of like,
They probably have them in trail mix now.
Yeah.
Maybe sometimes, but yeah.
I guarantee you Trader Joe's has some autumnal trail mix with like pumpkin seeds in it.
I'm sure.
Trader
Joe's, if you need that.
It's a trip.
It's like that, cranberries and other fall things. I'm guessing.
Joe's
and if they don't,
pancakes this morning.
Pancakes last weekend. They were good.
The wife made pumpkin pancakes this morning, so yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Was it Trader Joe's?
The can. I don't know. So it's possible, but it's been a minute since she's been there. So I don't know if it was she just had stuff left over from last trip or whatever, but
they had a box of a mix and it was easy. And I went during a time that I was very hungry and they had everything pumpkin. And I was just like, I'm restraining myself, and yet I'm also buying way too much shit that I don't need because I want it. That box.
Listen, it's basic white girl season. We all know it.
Oh yeah. Trader Joe's is one of those peak white girl places.
I mean, it gets the money.
Oh yeah.
I don't need pumpkin spice everything, but I am not one of those people that hates the flavor. It has its time and place.
And it's now.
Well, yeah. I mean, as a coffee flavor, it's fine. As a general dessert flavor, it's fine. As a pie, it's great. So, it's like when they do peppermint mocha for Christmas. I don't know why that peppermint is all this became that flavor, but fine.
But then it comes back again for St. Patrick's Day because it's green until you get the shamrock shakes.
Yes. Yes, but I have found over the years that less and less McDonald's are able to do them They always seem to be out and or broken.
In the beginning, there was nothing, which exploded. And out of that explosion, only so many McDonald's ice cream machines were made. And those numbers have dwindled until now. There are only so many left in the land. So that's why. But
See, I thought you were going to say in the beginning there were the Irish, and they exploded.
Yeah. Right.
Exploded into mint
Yeah.
milkshakes.
Ireland was actually the fabled island of Atlantis, but instead of sinking into the ocean, they sunk into the whiskey, and that's what happened. So
Isn't that a Family Guy joke that they were like a really advanced society, and then they
it's
discovered
one of
whiskey?
those, right?
They became Ireland.
Yeah.
Like, hey, I mean, I'll take that trade. Whiskey's good.
I wanted to go to space. Yeah.
You can still go. We still manage that. You just now you can have whiskey while you're up there. It's a win-win as far as I'm concerned.
Hmm.
We have whiskey, we have space travel, and we have shitty Bluetooth and air fryers. We've accomplished a lot, just not everything we needed to. That's it. That's all I got on that subject. Unless anybody else has recipes they want to share.
Yeah, not recipes. So
Really helpful.
yeah. No, I mean we just get a lot of like, pre-packaged is the word that comes to mind, but for a little while we've been subscribing to this like food delivery service, and they specialize in putting stuff together for the crock pots and whatever. So it's like that's how we've branched out a lot of what we've got. And then we've got some other staples just that are just like, meatballs or chicken nuggets, because our kids still eat like kids despite our best efforts, trust me. But yeah.
Are they dino nuggets at least?
Yes. Yeah.
As they should.
So yeah. Yeah, but I mean it's like anything different, and you've committed some mortal sin. So
Yeah, but now you have the air fryer, so you can make them even better.
it's true. It's true. That's a big part of it. So yeah, but we've got our now 6-year-old, and he still eats very much like a 3 through 5-year-old, and it's either quesadilla or chicken nuggets, or I mean we had to fight him on spaghetti, which is also kind of been a mainstay. But the crock pot stuff came through, and it had like a really good marinara with like sausage meatballs and stuff like that, and that was a fight. And so it was like, give me a break. But
He doesn't.
You like these ingredients separately. They're just together now.
And that's very much still a challenge for both kids. At least the nearly 10-year-old, he's gotten most of his pickiness is gone, and as long as the food doesn't touch, it's okay. But yeah,
my pickiness didn't end until about 3 years ago, so you got time.
Right. Crap. But at least you've been feeding yourself for like the last decade or two, so
that's true. My pickiness only ever bothered me after a certain point because I was responsible for me.
Right.
I always thought I was a picky eater when I was a kid, and I think it was actually just that all the food around me was trash.
Well, certainly the vegetables were not made good at the time.
Sure. Yeah. I mean, I'm a picky eater, right? But at the same time, like food is nourishing. And so like I got to the point where it's like I have my favorites, and when I go out, I'm going to order the same thing every time. Or if I go to a new kind of restaurant, I'm going to order the same dish the first time every time, because that's my bar.
Exploratory judge.
Yeah, like I'll eat anything, it was a mild concern 15 years ago when I went to India. I was like, oh God, yeah, I've never been in an entirely different country and culture before. But believe it or not, they cater a lot to Western taste too. Go figure, because they have chicken. A bunch of, yeah. Well, I mean, yeah, stuff like that. But Indian food's great, so it's all there.
Picky eater in question here.
This is a different issue.
I don't know. I think there was definitely things that like textures bothered me when I was a kid that
Yes.
but at the same time, like I'll still defend. Like I said, I didn't like egg yolks because I remember getting an egg McMuffin from McDonald's, and the egg yolk in that was just gross. It's like, so okay, so
Yeah.
it is trash, and I don't think I like egg yolks. But and
Sure.
like I had an epiphany when I was about 17, and my mom made hard-boiled eggs, and I said that there's something wrong with them, and she asked why. I was like, because the yolks aren't green. Because she overboiled them all the time. That I never knew that you can hard boil an egg and you still have it yellow inside. And so they were, of course, they were gross.
Right. They weren't cooked appropriately, you know.
Yeah.
So,
And
yeah.
so when I
She just
started
knew how
making
much
it
you loved
myself-
green eggs and ham as a child.
Right. Yeah.
You just-
I mean, my mom was like that for other stuff, right? It's like she would overcook me all the time. And so, I mean, I think well into my 20s before I did anything other than like medium well, you know, because
Mhm.
like that was just like that, or bring it out as a brick is what I was kind of used to, you know. I still won't do like, you know, anything raw or whatever, but I can at least like eat medium and be fine and, and whatnot, you know.
Yeah, medium was always my
So-
go-to ordering out. When it was home cooked, it just tended to be well done because that's how thing. But my dad always likes it on the rarer side, so I always had the
Mhm.
balance where it was like, no, I can do. So I like rare, medium rare is probably my main go. Like I like it red, but it doesn't have to be tartar.
Yeah, see,
would
and red squicks me out a bunch of different ways, right? So, but it's like at least I now know also enough about food safety where I'm like, as long as it's, you know, like appropriate temperature and whatever, the color of the meat is less indicative of how it was cooked, you know, and that sort of
Yeah,
thing.
especially with steak. I mean, chicken and pork, if it's red, then
Yes.
no.
And that
Bad.
was that was the air fryer chicken. I pulled it out. I was like, that's still raw in the middle, so that needs to go back in the air fryer. So
If only it had breading and dino shaped.
right. Yep. No, just straight Costco bag chicken, right? Just gigantic
Mm.
30-pound bag of chicken breasts. And I'm like, cool.
Mhm.
I can eat that for a real long time. So
air
the
chilled
challenge
ones
has
that come in
been
the packs, or
Do what?
is it the air chilled ones that come in like the packs that like two, or and then like there's like 8 of them stretched together, or again like the
It's
things that are already
giant
cooked.
bag,
and-
giant
Okay.
bag of chicken breasts. So
He actually bought it from the guy outside the Costco. He didn't even buy it from the Costco.
no. Well, and it's fun too because like it actually started with they sell like big old 30-pound bags of wings, and so I was like, I got an air fryer, I'm gonna cook my own wings because that's something that I cannot get enough of lately, and I don't know what that's about, but yeah, it was just like every time we went to eat out, like I mean, I love, you know, Chinese, I've loved pizza in the past. I'm getting too old to like eat just whatever kind of trash pizza is out there anymore, but yeah, wings was like, anybody up for wings? Like, and that one's pretty funny because no, like absolutely not. And my kids still won't eat meat off the bone, which gives me a little bit of concern in the whole like surviving the apocalypse thing that we got going on here. So it's just like, you guys know you're gonna have to deal with that at some point, right? So I try
Well,
to
it's funny.
offer-
I'm not huge. Like I like drumsticks and stuff like that. I've never been huge on ribs. I like them, but I don't go crazy for them. And I
Mhm.
like boneless wings more than I like on the bone. And
sure.
at this point, I do it mostly to annoy my father because he thinks it's sacrilege. Because I can eat a chicken wing, no problem. I just
Yeah.
don't want to.
So
I mean, boneless wings
grown
are
up chicken nuggets. So
Yeah.
Yeah.
Why not?
They're
it doesn't
easier.
bother me either. I'm totally the same way, but I'm cracking that joke because it's been cracked at me before. So
Mhm.
yeah.
But
Sorry,
boneless, they're
you were saying.
easier to eat.
Sure.
Well, they are.
I mean,
it's
I take advantage of certain physiological advantages is the way that I see it for eating the wings because yeah, it's not problematic for me. I mean, I
long
still
ways and scrape it off.
yes. So, you know,
I mean,
like not
that's
to
the way
give
to
any
do it.
yeah, not to give any of you guys any ideas or anything, but you know, like so yeah, there's
No,
some
I think
techniques about
everyone's
being able to like
conditioned by corn to eat it like
oh sure. But that's not
that
where the meat
way.
is, you know. So
so.
But drumsticks are the best. If you're gonna have to eat it off the bone, the drumstick is like literally fucking made for it
sure.
to
yeah.
eat. It's
In some ways,
portion
like
delivered.
the joint can be problematic at times, but but yes, I do prefer the drumsticks overall. And I think part of it too is like that was one of our staples when we were a kid, is that my mom would get like a 20 pack or something of like drumsticks and just barbecue them in the oven.
Mm.
And that was just like a staple. And so, yeah, drumsticks, wonderful. But
Maybe that's why I always like steak more, because there was no bone.
well, it
I
depends
mean,
on,
depending on the cut you get, obviously, you get like
yeah.
a ribeye, but I always preferred the fillet or London broil and stuff like that.
Sure. Yeah. We would usually do that too, but every now and again you get like the T-bone and whatever too.
I always thought the
So-
T-bone was a ripoff because it's just a big bone halfway, and you're paying more for a bone. It's like, I don't need that. I want the meat.
Right. Right. I don't disagree, but yeah, it's a thing. So
And it's probably a flavoring thing too. I imagine it helps. I don't
Yeah,
know
maybe.
how, but I imagine it does.
right.
Like I've had good bone-in steak. Like I had a tomahawk steak that was seasoned very well. It was I forget what it was, some kind of like slightly spicy one. It was good, but I'm and then you're not paying attention. And all of a sudden, you're like sawing on the bone instead of the meat itself. It's like, no, I don't want that part. Give me the meat.
Right. Yeah, I'm not sure I could tell the difference from a flavor perspective, like where the meat has come from or whatever. Like maybe in some rare cases, you know, some like
Well, I find them to also to be fattier, the ones on the bone.
Mm.
Like I'm eating a lot of gristle on that one too, which is another why I think it's a rip.
Mhm.
gotcha.
Like
Yeah.
the lean cuts are, you can see the fat strip on them when you buy them, obviously. But in general, if there's no bone, they see. Obviously, everything it depends on the cut, and some marbling and fat is fine. But I'm not like, if I've got an entire steak and I'm having to cut just the outer part of the fat off, that's good, fine. Get rid of it. If it's woven throughout, I'm like, no, thank you.
Right.
So don't care about Wagyu, whatever.
It's funny. I have a sitting in the freezer. I got a tri-tip Wagyu cut because it was on sale at this particular place. And tri-tip I like because my friend from California would always rave about it. And we can't really find it out here because it's just not a cut that's done as much, or at least it wasn't at the time. This was now 10, 15 years ago when it was first mentioned. But I found it twice. Once at it was at a bar that was also a barbecue place. I'm blanking on the name. It might have been Dinosaur Barbecue, actually. Anyway. And then there was a place in DC when I went to dinner, and it was tri-tip steak sandwich. And I was like, I got to have it now because I finally found this cut. And it was good. But I don't know how to describe it. It's just, he sent me one once from California, and we made the mistake of trying to cook it on the grill, and I didn't realize this was more of an oven cook. Like you can sear it in the pan for the crust, but you should be cooking it in the oven. So that did not turn out well. Now I know for this one when the time comes. Just finish it off.
Yeah, I don't know much about tri-tip specifically, but I was imagining like if you did some kind of more like a roast with it, and
yes,
especially if it has the fat that's woven in like that, and it disintegrates and actually gives you the nice texture and the flavor that you want. That'd be nice.
Yes. I like roast. It's a good.
Roast is good.
And I'm not picky on what, like, I've had good pork roast, I've had good lamb roast, I've had good roast beef, pot roast, which I don't really understand the difference.
A pot roast,
they look the same,
are basically the same. They just are different shapes of the meat.
They put it in a pot.
I mean, I'd be making a pot roast in the same thing as I would be making it in a stew. It's just like, did I cut up the meat into stew chunks or did I leave it whole? And that's it.
And that's worth charging $20 more?
I don't know. I'd get the same chuck roast and do it myself. So,
well, that's cheating. I go to a restaurant and pay an exorbitant fee for it.
Oh.
Well, it's like a Sunday special at one particular pub so I've gotten it every once in a while whenever we go there. And it happened to be on a Sunday.
Imagine that people think that pot roast is better, either because they think it looks prettier or that maybe they get more meat out of it. But it's basically the same thing as a stew. It's just stew's going to have more broth to it.
Well, yeah, I mean, yeah. Cuts of the slab of meat versus whatever chunks you get that get ladled out. Obviously, if you're making it, you can control that, but don't know. There's a butcher up the block from me that does a particular cut. It's called a butter steak. And I think it's basically like a London broil cut, but it's, I don't know how to describe it, but they come in these chunks like yay big. And so they're basically individual servings if you want to be, I mean, it's not hard to eat as a cut of steak that big for me, but some people might put it up in 2 meals. But it's very good. It's very juicy and I mean buttery, for lack of a better word, because it's just smooth. I don't know. I like it.
Never heard.
Now
of
maybe I'll go get one of those.
We really have been influencing your food decisions today.
Well, I mean, I say all this, and it's like I'm gonna go and I'm gonna get it, and then what am I gonna really? Am I really gonna make it tomorrow? It's like, no, probably not. So I'm just not gonna get it.
But you have the aspiration.
That's the problem with 3-day weekends is I get all these grand ideas, and I'm like, you're never actually gonna do that just because you have the extra day. You're going to do the same thing you always do, which is nothing.
I get
especially since it's gonna be raining outside.
Yeah.
I'd have to do indoor cooking stuff, which is fine if I want to do it, but I don't want to do it. And
I completely forgot that there's a 3-day weekend because I don't have it often, so who cares?
Apparently we do.
The only reason I remember that I have off is because if the courts and the post office are closed, then I know I don't have work. Usually it's the post office that indicates that to me. Because I don't actually pay attention to the court schedule. But the post office, that's easy.
My wife teaches, and the kids go to the same school, so it's like all 3 of them still got to go. And she's asked me twice, like, "Wait, why do you have it off?" So
yeah,
but
because banks have special rules, and because it's the same thing with me. It's like, why do you have it off? Because the bank says so. I was like, that's not fair. I want it off too.
They get every federal holiday off, so
I was gonna say, listen, teachers get like, yeah, they're valued and blah, blah, blah. They get the summer. I don't want to hear it.
Well, they get breaks each semester too, right? So
yes,
what's fun about this is like, I've got this, and then in like 2 weeks or so, they have a fall break, which is like a 4-day weekend. I'm taking that off too, and then a little bit after that is Thanksgiving. Probably going to take that off too. So
hey, it's like leave me alone with my 13 federal holidays.
Yeah, right.
Every Monday, every once in a while, that I don't have to do something.
Yeah. So
fall into winter, it's the fun time. We have all the holidays, which is fun food and fun everything. It's the other side of winter that really sucks when it gets like mid-January and everything is cold and dark and people taking down their Christmas decorations, which are at least fun to look at. And it's just like that for 2 months. It sucks.
And into that time I was born.
Yeah. And then stupid Smarch before April. So lousy Smarch weather anyway.
I have a feeling, I said this about the summer too, and then it turned out to actually be not that bad. It was only really 2 or 3 weeks where it was stupid hot. But I have a feeling it's just going to be one of those bad winters. Because it's been chill up until now. So something's got to give somewhere. It could just be, 30s and 40s and not a lot of snow, which I would be happy with because as we've established, being old, fuck the snow now. It is not the magical wonderland it once was as a child. It is just a hassle.
Yeah.
Every year I consider if it's worth risking a ticket to get a flamethrower or not. And my other latest with all my brainstorming around automation and stuff is like, they got to have like we've got riding lawnmowers, right? And I know riding snowplows is a thing, but they've got to have like an RC type of snowplow thing, right? Like the only thing I'd be worried about is if it doesn't have the horsepower to move like a heavy wet snow or something. But I'm like, I'm on a slope drive through. I would sit there for like 4 hours and drive a fucking RC car back and forth. It wouldn't take that long, but I'd do it. Like I do the whole
you have
friggin'
this
neighborhood.
advantage of you have children, and
Yeah,
your oldest
no.
at least will get to this age of like,
Yeah.
okay, you want spending money, you go do the chore that I don't want to do, which
Labor.
is the outside shit of like raking up the leaves and mowing the lawn and like your work ethic and all that. He's near that age.
He's getting close. And yeah, I mean, what's weird about it is that my wife is half my size and she actually loves to shovel the snow, but she's also got like T-Rex arms in comparison. And so it's like she hurts her body, but it's fun for her. I'm the big guy, so it's like I have to go do the thing because that's the job. And then the kids like to go outside and screw around for like 20 minutes. But I'm like, you do actually got to do the job. Like I'm that kind of old guy where I'm like, we're out here to do a job, like get it done.
Do the
You can
job.
screw
I'm at the
around
point where
after.
And scrape
my
everything
father's
into the
too
big
old.
pile to go fuck around in. But
My
like,
my
your
you know my
wife,
stepmother doesn't want my father doing it, so I'm the one that shovels everything. So
Right.
front and back.
Yeah.
like,
And it's
your
like,
wife,
I don't even get
if she's
paid for it
enjoying it.
anymore.
What you need is the aliens like arm loader thing that Ripley used. Get her a mech
No,
suit.
what you need is the RC car and see who does it faster, her or you.
Right. Yeah. Yeah, I'm definitely like, I've seen that they're starting to put stuff out for like, lawnmowers as well that are like a Roomba for your backyard. And I'm like, man, I know your driveway doesn't need it as much, but I bet you in some snowy climates, right? Like, I'd rather do that than do an ATV with a freaking snowplow on the front of it or something. So, but kind of
I'm
overkill,
sure.
but I'm just like,
Future planning.
yeah,
can
well,
use
the
it.
last few months, I'm like, dude, there is no fucking reason. There is no good reason why we're not just living in the Jetsons world right now. Okay.
Well,
Like
there's plenty of
a
good
lot
reasons.
a lot of the reasons though that come up, it's like, they're like policy things, right? Like stuff is still kind of expensive at times, right? But it's like we do have the technology, right? So if cost is a
I
hurdle,
know.
that's one
Bluetooth
thing.
is kind of questionable.
Well, sure.
And since their world would run on
They
Bluetooth.
they didn't incorporate their Bluetooth struggles into the Jetsons, okay, or whatever. But it's like we've got the technology, guys. We could put some of this shit together, but instead we're like, what if we use AI to like paint watercolors? Like, bitch, that's not what we want AI to do. We want to be painting watercolors. We want that to figure out all that dreary paperwork bullshit so we don't have to go into the office anymore. So
yeah, but their decision is going to be no more humans. That's the end goal of the AI anyway. So we're not going to get the Jetsons. They're going to be the Jetsons, and we're just going to be
right.
The Flintstones down at the bottom.
We're going to be compost. We're going to be Soylent Green.
Hate. Yeah, there are not enough words in the language to express how much that I hate you. No, and I mean that terrifies me too. But can you tell me that they're wrong? Like that's the problem. So
no, but you know what? I didn't need anyone inventing this thing to then have them realize that they're not wrong for doing that. We already knew, based on sci-fi and our own nature, that this was a bad idea. And we did it anyway because that's
we've known for
what humans
40
do.
plus years. And that's just from the good ones that we remember, let alone all the classic sci-fi before that. And just be like, go read iRobot and see how well that worked out.
We looked
every
at the
time.
worst possible option and we were like, yes, I'll have that, please.
Right. Yeah. I mean, because the worst part about it is like we kind of expected that the Pentagon was going to do it to us at some point, or DARPA or whatever. What we didn't expect is there's going to be a bunch of freaking tech bros. Like, give me a break. So we took a bad outcome and we somehow were like, actually, it needs a shit cherry on top, like just something right on top to let you know this is the worst outcome. So. Yeah.
No, I mean, they did it with military funding some of the ways. So,
well, yeah, I mean, the Pentagon's still got their fingerprints on it, but
yeah, it was always going to be some like, Miles Dyson type that just like, hey, this is. I mean, obviously,
but come on,
that kind of aspiration, because at least he wanted to do something good.
Yeah, Yeah, right. Miles Dyson, though, he had class and he was refined, and it was more like, capturing fire in a bottle, right? Where it's like he invented this thing and it got away from him. And that was always like that was a big part of those stories, right? Was like we're messing with forces that we don't understand and we can't control, and whoopsies, it got away from us. There's no whoopsie here. The tech bros have literally created AI that they don't understand and they can't control. And they're like, what if we got more fuel for the fire? And they're just like, this is fucking cool as they keep pushing it, keep feeding
Yes,
it.
as they put the Dutch oven underground with the coals.
Right.
And we are the Dutch
Above
oven.
like a methane gas pocket, So,
Correct.
yeah.
So yeah, it'll be fun.
Yep.
Oh well.
Yeah, I mean, I think our best hope is that it's not going to pan out like, I mean, we were talking about IoT and all that other stuff, right? Just imagine AI just kind of goes like bloop. So, but
It will
Well, that's the
probably
big
be
fear,
more
is it's gonna
disappointing to
crash in on
everyone
itself,
involved.
like the
Yeah.
.com bubble, and just
Sure.
take a bunch of companies down with them, which would be fine if it didn't already seep into so much shit.
Sure.
Like that's going to go down, and people are not going to realize how many things are going to go down with it because it's already in there. Because companies have been looking for any excuse to save money and replace, people.
Right. Yeah, I mean it's getting there. We've still got to go through the more of the horrors of the AI generated video and everything. So, I mean, lately
getting
it's been
better.
like, oh, we've got an AI actress. Is like, come on, guys. That again, also that concept has been around for a long time. We've had entire movies about it and just everything. Why are we acting surprised? But yeah, it was like it's more like when your news starts using it. That's the one that I don't think people are taking seriously enough. And
I think it's
when your
ridiculed all the
president
time.
starts sharing stuff like that, so
I mean,
Well, it's
there's
because a
all
lot of
sorts
people aren't going to be able to tell the difference when they. I mean, they already
that's
get
the
lied to.
horrifying part.
But that's the thing is they already, depending on your sphere of influence, are getting false information even without the AI. So the AI
Sure.
just is now enhanced. Like they're just going to have the AI generated images that they themselves ginned up to make news, quote unquote,
Right.
and that will then be the next big scandal. That
I'm gonna
nothing will
quote
happen.
Cheaty here though, and like you do understand how that's worse though, right? Like,
Yeah.
so that's like
they don't care.
like who cares about weapons of wars? We were already killing each other with sticks, so like,
Mhm.
but this is worse, right? So
Yep. I'm sure it'll all be fine.
So the good news is the planet will continue to spin on. I don't think we've quite reached the technological level where we can alter the axis like so much. Like we've done some things, right? But like we're not going to stop the rotation of the Earth. So it will literally spin on. But whether we're here or not to see it, that's the question. So
We won't be.
spoilers.
Especially us, because we're old, which was the whole point of this episode.
It's true. It's true.
Yeah, we
Thanks
might.
for bringing that full circle.
Well, I mean, we might like limp into the tricentennial, but after that, I don't think so. We'll be in our 80s, I think, right? What is 2076? We'll be, yeah, it's 50 years from now.
Buddies.
We'll be in our 80s. Well, I'll be in my 80s. You'll be in your 90s if you're still alive.
There's a lot of if between here and there, because for reference, as old as I am, that is more than double my life away. So that is a lot of years to.
Yeah, and with the amount of shit you're air frying.
Yeah.
No, air frying's healthier. So
So they say.
Yeah.
But
well,
you're also
all the
air
grease
frying.
is in the bottom of it, so it's got to be true.
No,
right?
no. You're also enhancing the microplastics. Something's gonna come. Something's gonna tell you.
Why can't I just get
You're making them
superpowers from
tastier.
the glycoplastics? Why can't there anything good out of them?
You'll get a mutation. You just won't like it.
Hmm.
Yeah, I mean, the nature of mutation is that it's unpredictable, and the likelihood that it is beneficial is way smaller than the bad kind. I think it's just statistics, right? Like, you could.
Yeah. All this. I just wanted to complain. You people should
Oh, you
understand
are.
that.
Congratulations.
Yes,
No, we
because
know.
we're old. Yeah, we get it. But then we got to complain about you complaining and how wrong you are, and that's called.
I was
being
gonna say
a nerd.
we're older. We've had your complaints already. We're on to new
Yeah,
complaints.
right. Yeah.
Catch up.
You think that's bad? Yeah, you need to add
Well,
this.
back in my day.
Yeah. Back in my day, we had leaded gas. I'm that old, so
I'm sure that'll come back soon.
Yeah, I survived leaded gas and cigarettes, and now we're on to microplastics. So
I remember when cigarettes or smoking was still allowed in restaurants. That was
Oh yeah,
awkward.
smoking and non-smoking sections.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Which really was just a lie, because if you had a smoking section, your restaurant was a smoking
Yeah.
section. And the whatchamacallit, the ashtrays on airplanes that used to be like, that was a fidget spinner back in the day.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if I'm that old, but yeah, like I'm pretty sure the FAA had banned all that by then. So
I don't remember smoking on planes, but I do remember pre 9/11 TSA. Wow.
smoking was banned on domestic flights under 2 hours in 1988. So I was technically alive then, but I wasn't smoking. So
We're old. Shocking news.
it's
And
crazy
that-
how it
that-
sneaks up on you.
It's not fair. But we'll continue to get old next time. And Andreas isn't here to do his thing, so you don't get any of the interesting plugs. So bye.